Good morning. Last weekend, a video recording of an incident in Washington, D.C., a confrontation between a group of high school students and a Native American man went viral. The video appeared to show the students taunting the man, with one student in particular kind of in a stare down with him. The man appeared to be innocently honoring his ancestral heritage with the beat of a drum. And we live in an instant media culture where millions of people have smartphones with cameras and video recorders and the ability to upload photos and videos in real time for the whole world to see. And that's what happened in this situation. This video was uploaded to social media and it spread like wildfire. And within 24 hours, this boy and his companions and their entire school had been tried and convicted in the court of social media. Tried and convicted as hateful racists. And the judgment was swift and the punishment harsh, as the comment boxes were used to publish personal contact information of the boys and their parents, and using just vile language to denigrate these boys and even call for violence against them. And it wasn't long before other videos started to appear that painted a different picture of the events that day, casting significant doubt on the conclusions drawn so quickly, so eagerly by so many. Now, I don't claim to know what actually happened that day, but I know that a video gives us one perspective, the perspective of the camera, the perspective of the person who is editing it. In our second reading this morning, St. Paul is teaching us about Christian unity. All baptized Christians are part of the body of Christ. Each of us here are individually members of the body of Christ, and collectively we make up the whole of Christ's body here on earth. And being a part of the body of Christ comes with it responsibility to act as Christ would act. Now, I'm certain that many of the people who were condemning these boys on social media are baptized Christians, members of the body of Christ. But it seems as though many of them were not acting as Christ would act. Of course, there were exceptions, but on the whole, stuff that I read was somewhat un-Christ-like. And I think that's one of the difficulties of social media. It insulates us from personal interaction with one another. Creates a bubble where it seems okay to rush to judgment and to judge one another, to condemn one another in very harsh terms. Creates an environment where it's easy to forget that we are members of the body of Christ. Now, I'm not saying that social media is a bad thing. I use it personally and professionally quite often. But I think it can be misused. And I think in this situation, it was misused. I read an article this week written by Bishop Robert Barron about this rush to judgment on the internet as a response to this video. So if you don't know, Bishop Barron is an auxiliary bishop in the Archdiocese of Los Angeles, and he uses social media quite effectively to a very positive effect. He's the face and voice of the popular Word on Fire Catholic Ministries. And the article was entitled "The Internet and Satan's Game." And in it, the bishop opines that these unfiltered comments condemning these boys is the work of Satan. It's satanic in nature. He references a philosopher, René Girard, who theorized about this, what he called the scapegoating mechanism, which occurs, it's a phenomenon when tensions arise in groups, as they have in our culture. People start looking for a scapegoat, someone to blame. And this scapegoating becomes very attractive to the people in the group. And they start to engender a hatred, a common hatred toward the scapegoat that creates a twisted sense of community in the group. They become fueled by a sense of self-righteousness that seeks to isolate and eliminate the scapegoat with the expectation that that will somehow restore order in the group. An expectation that is almost always unfulfilled because it is the work of the evil one. Using St. Paul's example, it's as if the body conspired to remove the foot because it stepped in the mud. But we can't put our Christianity on hold when we browse the internet. Right? We are members of the body of Christ no matter what we're doing, no matter what we perceive others to be doing. And that comes with the responsibility. Responsibility to act first and foremost from the perspective of love and respect for others. Bishop Barron has some very sound advice, I think, for those who use social media. Before you make a comment, Bishop says, ask yourself a simple question. Am I doing this out of love? Out of a sincere desire for the good of the person or persons whom I'm addressing? And if the answer is no, then don't make the comment. If it becomes clear that your comment is about spleen venting or scapegoating or virtue signaling, then keep it to yourself. Doing otherwise, the bishop suggests, is doing the work of the evil one. We're gathered this morning as the body of Christ. We're gathered to listen to God's holy word, to partake of the Holy Eucharist. It's appropriate for us to pause for a moment and reflect upon what it means to be the body of Christ. May the Lord give us the grace and strength to resist that scapegoat mechanism and instead choose always to act out of love and respect for others.